Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. My name is Stella Inameti. Shagun Ajayi is the sign language interpreter. Now the headlines. Federal government to fast-track approvals for viable infrastructural projects in the country. Federal government unveils digital gateway for National Youth Conference, bridges gap between governance and youth vibrancy. ECOWAS Parliament meets in Liberia's capital, Monrovia, to address pressing issue of unemployment across the sub-region. Thanks for joining us. This democracy is not a destination but a journey, and therefore the institutions around it must be strengthened to safeguard people's freedom and protect the future of democratic governance in Nigeria. This is the belief of President Bola Tinubu as he flagged off the construction of a new national headquarters annex for the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Abuja. State House correspondent Musbau Dan Wahab reports.
The National Electoral Umpire has been headquartered here for about 28 years. But then, current realities and exigencies demand an upgrade as the institution grows along with Nigeria's democracy.
For a long time, the Commission has been grappling with the problem of inadequate office accommodation. Our present national headquarters is severely congested.
The Federal Executive Council responded to the need in March this year with an approval for the construction of an annex building. And here, Tinubu's administration is giving an expression to its commitment toward strengthening national institutions.
And be a success for the country.
An annex to the Commission's headquarters will take off here on more than 1.5 hectares of land with offices, accommodation, election monitoring room, media center, library, a 1,000 capacity auditorium and more when completed.
INEC has been and remained the backbone of Nigeria's democratic journey. Its role in conducting free, fair, and credible election is central to the trust our people place in their government and in our democratic process. For this reason, it is only right that such a pivotal institution is housed in a structure that reflects the dignity, responsibility, and national significance of that institution.
President Tinubu says this is a demonstration of his administration's support to INEC's autonomy, capacity, and growth as an institution playing a vital role of protecting the country's democracy.
Our democracy is still evolving, and as it is growing, so too must the institution that support and protect it. We are committed to ensuring that INEC is fully equipped, not only in infrastructure, but in law, policy, and resources to carry out its constitutional mandate with courage, fairness, and excellence.
This structure will be given all the time it required to see that during your first tenure, this project is completed.
And it also perfectly aligns with the administration goal to support and provide national institutions with world-class infrastructure that reflects their importance and mandate.
The project is scheduled to be completed in 24 months. In Abuja, Musbau Dan Wahab, NTA News.
A new chapter has been opened in the public transportation sector of the FCTA with the inauguration of the bus and taxi terminal in Mabushi district. President Bola Tinubu presided over the inauguration of the newly constructed edifice. Onoze Yakubu was there and brought back this report. We apologize for the loss of audio in that report, and now moving on. Federal government to fast-track approvals for viable infrastructural projects in the country, highlighting the critical role of basic infrastructure for economic development. Vice President Kashim Shettima stated this when he declared open the 2025 Nigeria Public-Private Partnership Summit held at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
This summit brings together stakeholders from government, private investors, development partners, and civil society to co-create new frameworks, de-risk bankable projects, and strengthen institutional alignment towards project delivery. President Tinubu, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, urged private sector partners to be focused and more committed, noting that Nigeria offers scale, demand, and returns like no other African market.
The National Integrated Infrastructure Master Plan 2020 to 2043 remains our blueprint. It is our compass to raise infrastructure stock from the current 30 to 35% of GDP to at least 70% by the year 2043. But blueprints do not build roads. Policies alone do not generate megawatts. Your Excellencies, distinguished gentlemen, these goals require collective action, and that is the focus of the present administration.
Calling for a more strengthened public-private sector partnership that emphasizes innovation, efficiency, commitment, and integrity above mere capital and investments. He reaffirmed that the administration is still fully committed to that very public-private partnership that is passionate about delivering sustainable and inclusive infrastructure.
Government cannot provide all the resources. That is the truth. The private sector must come and share risk and also share profit. And that's what partnership is about. Thank you for providing the platform. And lastly, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, I want to thank you for the support that you've given to the private sector to excel.
A testament to Nigeria's readiness to lead, not just to follow, in the evolving global PPP ecosystem. Let me at this point assure our local and international investors that Nigeria is open for business, and more importantly, ready for partnership.
This summit is a rallying call for transformation, a platform for strategic convergence, and a bridge between national aspirations and tangible development. From the State House, Abdurrahman Jibrila, NTA News.
Stakeholders at the 2025 Nigeria Public-Private Partnership Summit say to truly attract and retain investment, the country must ensure a more transparent and predictable business environment. Justin Ben Unyi reports that the theme of the conference is Unlocking Nigeria's Potential, the role of PPP in delivering the renewed hope agenda.
It is a convergence of minds and missions. Policymakers, global investors, and economic institutions gathering under one roof in Abuja for the 2025 Public-Private Partnership Summit. With the theme Unlocking Nigeria's Potential, the role of PPP in delivering the renewed hope agenda. The summit is organized by the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, ICRC. Nigeria's infrastructure deficit, estimated at $2.3 trillion, is at the center of the conversation. But beyond the figures, the emphasis is on creating the right environment to drive investor confidence.
That Nigeria is open to business and serious about the results, and it has no time to lose.
We can see our e-gate project. We can see our data center, which is one of the biggest we have in Nigeria today. The 8.3 petabyte, they are all PPP projects.
Speaker after speaker echoed a resounding call. The ease of doing business must be improved. Stakeholders stressed the need for clear, consistent, and investor-friendly regulations to ensure PPPs work efficiently from conception to execution.
Fund is a coward. It goes to an environment where it is well protected. So the ICRC's Act provided that once you go through the gamut of the laws and regulation, any investor coming into the country will be well protected.
Development partners also lent their voice, urging that PPP projects be not only attractive, but practical, designed to yield early wins and long-term value for all parties involved.
So we need to take our time in designing this, implementing what I call the low-hanging fruits, let investors experience the success of these early projects, and they'll have greater confidence in coming into other projects.
From all indications, unlocking Nigeria's future will require more than partnerships. It demands the right environment for them to thrive. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
As part of ongoing diplomatic engagements ahead of the West Africa Economic Summit 2025, Nigeria's Special Envoy and Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, led delegation to Togo, where they were received by the President, Faure Gnassingbé, at the Presidential Palace in Lomé. The meeting was convened to formally extend an invitation for President Bola Tinubu to attend the inaugural West Africa Economic Summit scheduled to take place in Abuja. Discussions reinforced the long-standing ties between Nigeria and Togo, as well as emphasized deeper collaboration among member states, which is key to unlocking the full potential of the region. President Gnassingbé welcomed the initiative, commending President Tinubu for his leadership in convening such a timely summit. He affirmed his country's participation and as well underscored the need for West African leaders to intensify collaboration through trade, economic partnerships, security cooperation, youth empowerment, and joint efforts in sustainable development, underpinned by peace and social dialogue. Bianca Ojukwu stated that the West Africa Economic Summit is expected to continue to serve as a unifying platform for regional transformation. The European Union and other development partners are to spend 110 million euros to finance 4 key trade development initiatives in West Africa in the next 2 years. Kelvin Ebonwaye reports that the ECOWAS Commission is to design the programs in furtherance of its free trade protocol to boost economic integration in the sub-region.
Funds will be provided by the European Union, the German and Spanish governments through their respective international cooperation offices. They are to support ECOWAS in peace, security and governance, trade services programs, institutional training, as well as boost the region's African trade competitiveness and market access. The core of the initiative is to enhance regional trade because when nations trade with one another, they are more likely to cooperate and build peace, an ingredient for development.
As we implement these projects, let us promote dialogue and avoid unilateral decision-making. The partnership advocated by MDG will only be balanced if it allows consultative and joint decision-making.
At the EU, we are proud to support this vision and the ECOWAS efforts in building a safer, more integrated and more prosperous West African region. These initiatives, launched today, address both urgent needs and long-term goals.
While the programs will be designed by ECOWAS based on needs, in collaboration with the donor governments, the implementation will be jointly monitored and evaluated from time to time. In Abuja, Kelvin Ebonwaye, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a short break now. Thanks for staying with us. The United Nations World Food Programme has warned of increasing hunger in 13 hotspots around the world, with 5 of them facing immediate risk of starvation and death in coming months. Kolo Mohammed tells us more.
The latest hunger hotspots reports released by the World Food Programme and the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization warns that urgent humanitarian action is needed. It adds that there must be a coordinated international effort to de-escalate conflict, stem displacement, and mount an urgent full-scale aid response. The World Food Programme's Director of Food Security and Nutrition Analysis, Jean-Martin Bauer, says conflict is the main driver of food crisis. He said they have identified 5 countries or territories of highest concern. They are Sudan, Palestine, South Sudan, Mali, and Haiti, and are experiencing high levels of acute food insecurity.
In our interconnected world, peace, stability, and prosperity on a healthy planet depend on leaving no one behind. And so our response to this growing hunger crisis must be multifaceted, from prevention and humanitarian action to sustainable development. And the Famine Action Mechanism is an important new tool. It will help to predict and therefore prevent food insecurity and famine before they have a chance to take hold.
There's an ongoing famine in Sudan and also risk of famine in the case of Gaza, and are driven by conflict and lack of access to humanitarians. In Sudan, 25 million people face acute food insecurity amid the ongoing conflict between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces, which is fueling continued displacement. Kolum Hamad, NTA.
The federal government of Nigeria is assuring citizens that its commitment to host the UNESCO Category 2 Media and Information Literacy Institute is to position Nigeria as a global leader in the responsible use of media and information in the digital era. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, at a book launch by the Guild of Corporate Online Publishers, solicit responsible online journalism and promised government continued support to a free and responsible press. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
The proliferation of citizens' journalism has compounded the spread of fight against fake news, misinformation, and disinformation. Guild of Corporate Online Publishers, through this maiden edition of a book, Nigeria Media Renaissance, is joining forces to sanitize Nigeria's media ecosystem.
Online publication is the future of the media industry, which governments and lawmakers have to support through enabling laws, tax exemptions, grants, among others.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation was emphatic that it is the duty of government to work with credible media groups to tell the Nigerian story in a way that inspires hope.
Once any platform, online platform, is seen to have published something that is fake, we have this penchant to think that, oh, it's just fake news and then it goes by. What is GOCOP doing to check those who are peddlers of this fake news? They told me that not all of them are members of GOCOP. I said, yes, I agree, but it is also an additional responsibility on GOCOP to call them out and say, these are not our members, they are peddlers of fake news, they are peddlers of misinformation.
The book is certainly a good account of the online publisher's commitment to uphold professionalism and ethical values.
Established in 2013, this body of online publishers seeks to ensure that members uphold the tenets of journalism in doing their job and to sanitize online publishing in Nigeria. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Young, bold, and blazing new trails, Africa's youth took center stage at the 2025 Africa Youth Conference in Abuja, where the energy was electric and the message was clear. The future is now, and it's African. From Apanyi reports, it was a gathering of visionaries, future leaders, game changers, dreamers, and doers at the UN House in Abuja.
The 2025 Africa Youth Conference echoed with the voices of hope and ambition, united under the theme, "We are stars, thriving in a world of limitless opportunities." This wasn't just another youth event. It was a celebration of African excellence, of young minds who have shattered boundaries in technology, dazzled in art, and disrupted global business spaces with fresh innovations.
The focus of this year is on SDGs 9, innovation, resilient infrastructure and industry. We need to leverage on the untapped economic opportunities on our continent as youth to be able to create jobs.
The stage is now ours. It's no longer the essence of the future anymore. The future is now. The vitality of growing comes with collaboration. And I think African youth are beginning to see those efforts.
We're only here to charge ourselves, to make us understand and not forget what we are and who we are, and to understand what we are made for.
In the opening session of the two-day event, youth advocates, policymakers, and development partners emphasized the need for inclusion, courage, and collaboration. The message was resounding. African youth must not wait for the future. They must lead it.
We are different. There's nowhere in the world you see an African, you will know there's something different about us. Our audacity, our intelligence, the brilliance.
I really want people to know that their dreams are valid. They should dream big and they can make it.
Panel discussions and breakout sessions tackled real issues from leadership and governance to innovation and global citizenship. Participants shared one vision, an Africa where young people shape policies, take charge and rewrite the narrative of the continent. More than a conference, this annual gathering serves as a powerful reminder the youth are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are the catalyst of today. Frama Panyi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government is currently reviewing the existing laws governing agricultural activities in the country enacted over 40 years ago. Musa Baba Ali reports that the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security is leading the review and reform efforts.
Laws play a crucial role in shaping agricultural activities and supporting farmers, processors, and investors. However, many regulations governing the sector, including those from the Ministry of Agriculture, have remained unchanged since 1960 and are in their need of review.
Some of the laws make provision to access to only 100 naira, because when the laws were enacted, 100 naira was such a huge amount in the country. But currently you see that there's nothing 100 naira can do for you in the country.
Currently, there are 28 of such laws that require attention. And here are policymakers, including the Minister of Agriculture and representatives from farmers' groups, discussing the necessary updates to the identified outdated laws.
Many of the legal instruments governing this sector are outdated. They are fragmented or inadequate to respond to dynamic challenges and opportunities of modern agriculture, agribusiness, climate change, food system transformation, and global trade.
The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, emphasized that revising and updating the laws will facilitate more effective agribusiness in the country.
We have to promote agriculture as a business, and if you have to promote agriculture as a business, then you must provide that environment that will create certainty, that will create guarantees, and encourage investment in such a manner that people will be comfortable making investment in those sectors.
Once the review is complete, the proposed changes will be submitted to the Federal Ministry of Justice and then to the National Assembly for further considerations. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetekun, accompanied by senior officers, have arrived in Benue State following the tragic incidents that occurred in the state, resulting in the death of scores of residents. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer, Force Headquarters Abuja, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, indicates that the IGP visited the state government house, where he commiserated with the state governor, Hyacinth Alia. The governor expressed his ease and delight for the IGP's visit and the deployment of personnel and tactical assets over time, and even at the moment. The IGP condemned the attacks, describing the killings as senseless and an act of terrorism, further reassuring the governor that the Nigeria Police Force would carry out its best to bring the perpetrators of these heinous acts to justice. United for Land, our legacy. Now, Cross River State Government has approved the appointment of Mr. Linus Obogo as the Chief Press Secretary and Special Advisor on Media and Publicity in his office. Obogo's appointment is in line with the administration's commitment to strengthening its information machinery for effective and responsive communication. A statement by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Owaneno, said the Governor has also appointed Mr. Nsa Gill as Special Advisor on Public Affairs. Mr. Gill is expected to deepen the interface between government and the public. And that ends the news on NTA International.